By definition, a conspiracy is an unlawful, harmful, or evil plan formulated in secret by two or more persons. By this definition, every premeditated bank robbery that was carried out by two or more individuals qualifies as a conspiracy. With that being the case, conspiracies are very real and should be taken seriously. To say you don't believe in any conspiracies is to say you don't believe bank robbers work in teams of two or more. Conspiracies are not just conducted by outlaws, though. Sometimes they are conducted by our own government and by the social elite. Those are the ones that we have to worry about the most, since they can do the most damage. I'll tread carefully on this topic because I've seen this topic kill more YouTube channels than any other topic. But according to the BBC, Bill Gates was considered the wealthiest man in the world from 1995 to 2010, and then again from 2013 to 2017. So during those times, to the public eye, he was considered the top of the social elite. Then in February of 2010, he presented a TED Talk where he said something really peculiar.
This equation has four factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to zero. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra. But let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. But there we see an increase of about 1.3. The second factor is the services we use.
So right there, he's looking at the projected growth of the world population and is viewing it as a problem that needs fixing. And what was his proposal to fix this problem?
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
So in 2010, he announced to the world that he intended on lowering the world population through new vaccines, healthcare, and reproductive health services. And was this when he started his big plan? No. That plan actually began in the year 2000, when he founded the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which was all about those kinds of services. So February of 2010 was just a big moment where he went public with those plans. And then when people asked him, "Hey Bill, how do you intend on lowering the world population with these kinds of services?" This was his answer.
Here we can see a chart that looks at the total world population over the last several hundred years. And at first glance, this is a bit scary. We go from less than 1 billion in 1800, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.4 billion where we are today is happening even faster. So Melinda and I wondered whether providing new medicines and keeping children alive, would that create more of a population problem?
So here he said that the success and growth of humanity is a scary problem to him.
What we found out is that as health improves, families choose to have less children. And this effect is very, very dramatic. We find that in every country of the world, this is repeated. The population growth goes down as we improve health. So we've taken that chart that shows the global population growth, and we've actually extended it out all the way to 2100. And we can see that instead of continuing, it actually flattens out. Another way to see that is through this rate of population growth. And you can see that in the 60s, that reached a pretty high number, over 2% per year, and it's now come way, way down. Now, 11 billion people, still a lot, but the good news is that the faster we improve health, the faster family size goes down. And so we can feel great about saving those lives.
So here he's saying, if we make the world healthier, people will have smaller family sizes. Do you buy that, or do you smell a cover story? Let's think about the logic involved in that for a moment here. To say healthier people have smaller family sizes is to say that unhealthy people have larger family sizes. Hey honey, you feeling in the mood? I think I got smallpox. Let's see how many kids we can have before I die. Get real, guys, come on. 10 years go by, and 2020 happens. And remember, his plan was for these things to affect the world population. If everyone thought these things were harmful, no one would buy into them. So people bought into them. And what happened? People were shocked when these controversial medical procedures started affecting their reproductive systems. And then sudden adult death syndrome seemingly comes out of nowhere and becomes a thing.
Somebody mentioned to go onto Google and go into the news section and then type in "died suddenly." And lo and behold, here's a whole listing of people, of articles, of people within that last week who died suddenly. Older people, but a lot of younger people around the world.
And then you find out they were vaccinated. And it's just there's something different about the blood. Something's causing this. Somebody needs to look into it. I talked to other embalmers that have 30, 40, even 50 years of experience. Have you guys ever seen this stuff before? And the answer was always, I've never seen anything like it.
U.S. life insurance companies have reported an overwhelming and unexplainable increase in all-cause deaths among 18 to 49-year-olds.
That's a 12 sigma event, 1 in 800 years, 12 standard deviations above the mean.
No one's even calculated that. It's apocalyptic.
Who knows? Young people are dying these days.
This is the greatest orchestrated die-off in the history of the world.
Died Suddenly is a documentary that recently came out in 2022, and it's more than a little eye-opening to say the least. So, is Bill Gates part of a grand conspiracy? Look into it for yourself. I've got links to all my sources in this video's description. Don't just write something off because it is a conspiracy theory. Conspiracies can and do take place. Look at Al Capone and the Mafia. Look at Project MK Ultra. Look at Enron. When people turn a blind eye to conspiracy theories, that is what allows bad guys to get away with murder. But together, we can make a difference. Be the difference. Thank you all for watching.